Hi, my name is Jude Tolar. It's Jude, which looks like Jude, but it's Judy. I live in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Have been there for, almost 40 years back there. Went to college at Oklahoma State University, moved away for 10 years, and now we've been back a long time. Really like it. People have asked me how long I've been an artist, and I think I was probably born being one, meaning that I've always been interested in shapes and patterns and looking at things in the world. And I mean looking at everything from tiny things underfoot to broad vistas and skies and cloud patterns. I've always loved doing that. And as soon as I could hold a pencil, I started sketching and drawing. Very simple things, but I just liked putting that on paper. It was just a lot of fun to do that. My grandmother started painting with oils in her 60s, so that was about the time I was doing this as well. 50s, 60s, her 50s and 60s, and so she taught me a few things about shading and really looking at something to try and draw it or paint it. So I've just done art my whole life. I never thought I would be a professional at it. I thought your options were being a starving artist or an art teacher, and I didn't think either option. I didn't think I knew anything about how to teach, and I didn't really want to starve. So I got a psychology degree from OSU because I'm also interested in people and how they think. However, I then learned about graphic design and illustration, and that's what I spent most of my adult career doing, was being someone who designed logos for companies, brochures, a lot of things for print. We don't do so much print anymore, but still visual images and messages are important. So that's what I learned back in the dark ages before there were Macintosh computers or ways to do all of that ourselves. But it was a lot of fun to do that. My first job was as the staff artist for the Metropolitan Library System in Oklahoma County. And we were an in-house department doing all of the publicity for 19 libraries. And that was a really good exposure to graphic design. I then went on to take some illustration courses, fine art courses at the University of Oklahoma, and launched a freelance career in graphic design and illustration, and that's what I did. I've even designed, illustrated, and written a few children's books. So it was a fun career. I've worked with many of the media, from oils, watercolors, acrylics. Graphite was one of my favorites. I like colored pencil too, especially on a dark paper, and that's kind of what led me to pastels. I was not that great with a brush, painting off with watercolors. I mean, okay with watercolors and oils, but not as well as with pastels, which are sticks of pigment, and they just, hold them in your hand and paint directly that way. They do call it painting, even though it's a dry medium, because you're covering and glazing and scumbling and doing the same techniques that you do with the liquid media. So it really is painting, and you're covering the whole surface. I kind of stumbled into that through from the illustration courses that I had at University of Oklahoma, but then also from becoming involved in the Stillwater Art Guild. I know you have here in Alva, the Graceful Art Center has a very active art education and art participation curriculum, and that's the kind of thing where I learned too from other artists, watching them demo. Learned about sanded paper, which is what I use in my current work. I really wanted to work from life when I retired, because it's just my favorite way to work. Most of my illustration life was either working from photographs or working completely from just imagination, which is fun too. But I really wanted to just celebrate what's out there because there's so much beauty in the world, say, up close and far away. So I try to celebrate that, and pastels have turned out to be the perfect way for me to achieve that. They're portable, they're quick, they're forgiving. They're basically just pure pigment in a stick form, so you can get as intense with color as I want to be or as quiet. I have one piece in the show that's a foggy scene. It's very quiet. Then I have a number of florals that are like, pow, because they're, I paint outdoors on sunny days with backlighting and just gets very intense color, and I love that. It's just, and I hope that it inspires someone else to look at dappled light outside or florals in a more attentive way. I've learned from the Stillwater Art Guild, also from the Oklahoma Pastel Society in Oklahoma City. I've been a member there for almost 20 years. Learned a lot from their meetings and working with other artists. My mentor is Clive Tyler. He's an American Impressionist living in Taos. Fabulous artist, wonderful teacher. Not only taught me many techniques, but he taught me so much about how to think of myself as an artist and think of my work as art, which is, it's a big part of it too, and to just really have confidence in myself. So he has inspired me and doing things I never would have expected 30 years ago. It's just really surprising. I end up, ironically, teaching quite a bit. I teach workshops. In fact, I'm not this weekend, but next weekend teaching a floral workshop in Midwest City, Oklahoma. I was in Arkansas for one last month. I've taught in San Antonio earlier in the year. We did one on painting glass subjects. It's really fun to work with other artists, and I'll give demos too. I just gave a demo last Monday in Midwest City as well, and so that's just a lot of fun. There's nothing more fun than spending a day creating art and talking with artists and color and line and shape. So it's great fun. I do some writing about art. I'm in a few magazine articles. I participate or submit my work to various national juried shows. I met many wonderful artists through that, like the International Association of Pastel Societies. I'm a signature member of the Pastel Society of America. They have wonderful juried international shows, and sometimes I get in, and it's really exciting. And being involved in those and submitting to those kinds of shows makes me a better artist. It really inspires me and pushes me to thinking about my work and just trying to make it the best I absolutely can. So I paint outdoors. I paint from life mostly, as I said, plein air if I can. I paint sometimes with friends, either at our house or we go to the Botanic Gardens or stop along a road somewhere, including the Ingersoll Washout building east of here. A friend of mine and I were so intrigued with that we had to come back and paint it. We just thought that was a unique building. So there's just plenty to do. I will never run out of subject matter or inspiration, and probably never run out of pastels either. It's just a great way to be an artist and share what I see out there with others. So, thank you for having me. I will say, if you want to look at my work, I have a website. It's just Jude Tolar, JUDETOLAR.com. I'm also on Instagram with just my name, and I'm on Facebook with my name as well. So I try to stay active on there and interact with people. So always happy to hear from art fans. Thank you.